This is absolutely insane. The US Department of the Treasury is now hinting at a possible collapse of Tether, but that is not even where this all stops. We have to really get into this because Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, is also now warning all of you. That's right, every single one of you. So we have to listen close and pay attention because I'm going to go over everything in this video. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So let's take a quick look at this post here from Subjective Views, talking about the U.S. Department of the Treasury hinting at a possible collapse of Tether. They mentioned a collapse not once, but twice in their most recent report on digital assets and the Treasury market. Now, real quick, before I do, read this, just remember that a couple days ago, there was breaking news. Now, yes, this did kind of get killed down a little bit by the CEO of Tether. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but apparently the federal government was looking into investigating cryptocurrency company Tether for possible violations of sanctions and anti-money laundering rules. Nobody saw this coming. Well, technically, almost everyone saw this coming because it was always a looming thing. But there was no confirmation of this. There was not, really anything going on with this. So we don't know if it was just FUD or, Wall Street Journal trying to pump their own bags, or their shorts, I should say. We don't know what was happening. But regardless, let's go over here and let's take a quick look at the facts. So here we have growth in stablecoins has resulted in a modest increase in demand for short-dated treasuries. And here we have over on the right side, U.S. Treasury bills held by Tether in the billions. And we can see how this is a strategic move by Tether technically, because if we continue to see this massive amount of U.S. Treasury bills held by Tether, if they go after Tether, all of a sudden, it's kind of like, they're really kind of shooting themselves in the foot, if you will. So as we do really think about this, I think that that's the number one thing that's been holding back a lot of, the targeting of Tether. But I do think that that will soon come to an end. And I do think that, who knows what's going to happen in 2025, but I do think that with regulations, I think that Tether should definitely be questioned. But on the right side, we also have an example of Tether's, this is 2024 Q2 collateral backing. Now it says that the backing is here, it's all solid, everything is all good, but there was no, straightforward audit of this. There was no actual audit, and it's still something that we question to this day. Now, on the left side, we also have top stablecoins by market cap, and we have Tether at over $120 billion worth. Now, also on the right side, we have financial stability risk in a future state when the tokenized market is significantly bigger. And we have runs on stablecoins have been a common occurrence in recent years, and a collapse of a major stablecoin like Tether could lead to a fire sale of short-dated treasuries. Very interesting. Now, also on the last slide here, we also have financial stability considerations risk on of runs on stablecoins. A collapse of a major stablecoin like Tether could result in a fire sale of their U.S. Treasury holdings. So, okay, all of a sudden you have the U.S. purposely collapse Tether, buy up all their treasuries at a discounted price, and the U.S. makes out like a bandit. Could definitely be something interesting. Now, also we have, if history serves as any guide, stablecoins will need to be regulated like narrow banks or money market funds to prevent contagion of stress in stablecoin markets to broader financial markets and the treasury market. Now, what I find very, very interesting about this is they were also talking about central banks here for a little bit of time, which I thought was very interesting. They were more so tying back companies to central banks within this, which again kind of leads me back to Ripple, which we'll get more into here in a second. But here is that post, and we have these ledgers will also need to be developed under this is basically just the guidance of central banks and the foundation trust they provide. The full potential of tokenization requires some monetary unit of account that denominates transactions, accompanies the means of payment, and is accepted without question by market participants. So this is definitely interesting because, again, we could tie this right back to Ripple and even XRP and the XRP ledger because of how many central banks Ripple is still working with. They're in discussions with over 20 of them. But more so, let's focus on Tether, because if we go all the way back here to April, and there's a lot of people talking about how Tether is going to be fine. Oh, Tether can, be covered under MiCA. Guess what? Tether's still not covered under MiCA, and it's still delisted on a lot of exchanges around the EU space, including Coinbase. So as we think about this, right, if Tether is not covered in MiCA regulations, what do you think happens with further stablecoin regulation? Like, for an example, the one that Hong Kong just recently announced on October 28th, stablecoin regulations in 2024, crypto tax incentives, tokenization is high priority. And we also know that, they are looking to push regulations in 2025. Almost every major nation around the world is looking at pushing stablecoin regulations or regulations around crypto in 2025. So this does make us question Tether greatly. And also, Russia just announced more plans on de-dollarization. We're taking individual steps one after another. As regards finance, we did not drop the dollar. The dollar is the universal currency, but it wasn't us. We were banned and barred from using it. And now 95% of all external trade of Russia is denominated in national currencies. They did it themselves with their own hands. They thought we would collapse. Check this out.
You say we need to be more active. How? I think making too much fuss is inappropriate. We're taking individual steps, one after another.
As regards the finance, we did not drop dollars in the dollars, the universal currency. It wasn't us. We were banned and barred from it, and now 95% of all the external trade of Russia is denominated in national currencies. They did it themselves with their own hands. They thought we would collapse. No, we haven't.
Now you might be questioning, why is this important? Well, it's because Russia continues to accelerate this, push on the de-dollarization effort, and the dollar is, dropping, it's collapsing. What is the US going to do? Well, even over here, we have stablecoins will serve as the United States' defense for the US dollar status as a global reserve currency in response to de-dollarization. I've been reporting on this since going all the way back to 2023. And a lot of people are still looking at the wrong target here. The BRICS are an accelerant for what we are seeing around crypto, what we are seeing around finance, aka the reset to a digital-based financial system. 99% of stablecoins are denominated in USD, reinforcing the dollar's influence in the digital economy. The USD also dominates FX reserves, international debt, and loans, and the SWIFT network further cementing its role in global financial infrastructure. As stablecoins gain regulatory clarity and adoption increases, they will help sustain the dollar's relevance in a rapidly changing global market, countering the effects of de-dollarization. Soon after the BRICS nations reveal their new payment system, the US stablecoin regulation will follow. And yes, that means that as we do start to see Russia continuing to push forward, regulations heat up heavily. Now also, I want to bring this up because with regulations, the big question in the room is, what's going to happen to Tether? And even over here, Brad Garlinghouse has a warning for everyone. And this was at Swell 2024 this year. Ripple CEO, Black Swan warning. During Ripple Swell 2024, Brad Garlinghouse speculated a Black Swan event could turn the United States into the blockchain capital of the world, drawing connections to the 1996 Telecom Act when the USA became the leader in the internet. Do you believe America will become the blockchain capital of the world? Now, before I even play this video real quick, remember what I just said about Tether, okay? They're one of the largest holders of US Treasury bills, but they're talking about a run on this, right? AKA Tether would lead to a fire sale in US Treasuries. This would be a massive black swan that would have contagion effects into traditional finance because of how large their US Treasury holdings are. This could set the US up to become an absolute giant around blockchain. Check this out.
The last slide we'll put up has manifested interestingly. You look at the left side of this chart and it shows how many companies in the internet space are US based and US value accretion, and then the right side is kind of in the crypto space, and it's kind of not surprising. If as you and I have talked about, the earliest days of the internet, the regulatory clarity was created through the 1996 Telecommunications Act. And so investors flowed in, entrepreneurs flowed in. That hasn't yet happened in the United States as it relates to crypto, hopefully soon. But maybe this will change. I'm hopeful. And I agree it could be a black swan event.
So there you guys have it. And yeah, I do think that a black swan event is going to set the US up to become a blockchain capital, but also a blockchain leader. And this is going to be with the help, of US based companies like Ripple. And we already know that Ripple is quoted as being the leading provider of digital asset infrastructure for financial institutions with a proven track record working with regulators and policymakers around the world. Released 1 day ago from the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Look at this. They have it quoted. Building credibility and trust in enterprise blockchain. It's because Ripple has been working with regulators. No matter what you've been hearing around the SEC case and this and that, I want you guys to understand that globally, Ripple is an absolute giant that's compliant, working with regulators, and pushing blockchain technology further with the XRP ledger, for an example. But also, as we do think about Tether, Circle recently overtook Tether's USDT in stablecoin transactions back in April of this year, April 29th, actually. So if we think about how interesting this is, dominance is starting to be usurped. And we also know that ROUSD is close to launching. Here we have, seems like great timing for Ripple with their ROUSD being launched. US stablecoin legislation likely passed in late 2024. This was from Jeremy Allaire talking about, they're closing in on a bill that could pass both chambers and reach the president's desk in December. What a victory for the US to take the dollar forward with the age of the internet. Yeah, I do think that, listen, regulations are knocking on our door for stablecoins. And I do think that this is going to lead to the potential black swan where Tether goes down. I don't believe that all of this is just a coincidence where we're getting all of these articles coming out around Tether and a possible collapse. They're hinting at it during this entire time. At the same exact time that, if we go back to October 15th, Ripple stablecoin is operationally ready as the firm named exchange partners, market makers, and an advisory board for ROUSD. The firm is now waiting for regulatory approval from the New York Department of Financial Services, and this is actually from Monica Long. Now, also, we know that Brad Garlinghouse said that the US dollar peg stablecoin was weeks away. Now, this was back in September, so who knows what's going to happen? We'll definitely have to watch, wait, and see, but it seems as though the overall timeline here is very interesting. And I would not write off the fact that, if Tether did implode tomorrow, it's not just, a big hit for crypto. With how much treasury bills they actually hold, this would cause a massive contagion effect in the US markets. We're talking about the stock markets. We're talking about, everything. Everything would go with it. So, this could be that black swan event that leads us to, the United States buying up all the treasury bills from Tether, and then also becoming a blockchain leader by being able to have, all of these, regulated, compliant USD stablecoins ready to launch. They're working with a, possible US-based company, aka Ripple. It could set them up to become an absolute giant in the digital age. So we'll have to watch, wait, and see. But I just think that the warning signs are there. And, with Brad Garlinghouse giving us this warning of a potential black swan event, I do think that we should listen up. I think that we should start paying attention. And I think that we should also prepare accordingly, regardless of, how the cycles work right now, regardless of where we're at right now in the cycle. I still think that we should prepare accordingly because you never know what could happen at any moment in this space. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.